Hello and welcome to the Wrestling Answers podcast. I'm your host, as always, Miyamo Jeff53, joined as ever by my wonderful co-host, Joebot22.
Hello, I again do not have an intro because I never do. Um, but yeah, welcome everyone.
Indeed. We've got
I
we
just
have
never have
a
an
show.
intro.
Yeah, well, maybe
I'm,
you
I'm
should get
always
one.
like and then yeah,
Maybe you should get one then.
yeah.
I'm
Leave
sure.
in the comments a good intro, everyone,
I'm sure you
and
could
I will.
just you could just copy someone else's. You could just do. Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier.
What the fuck's going on, everybody? It's your boy Joe Dick and Balls.
Yeah, there you go. It's an intro. It works.
Oh,
But yeah, anyway, we have a show. It's this show. We have
yeah.
a show for you today, and it is, in fact, the Wrestling Answers podcast episode, I want to say 12. Um, and yeah, we will crack on with our first question of the day. Why are there no big stars in wrestling anymore, do you think, Mr. Bot22?
Well, we've talked about this a few times really, and I just think there's no personality anymore. Like, and a lot of them are just copies of what we've already had. So obviously, like we got like the Fiend, who's trying to be like a mix of like Kane and Undertaker. You got like Daniel Bryan, he's a bit like he's a bit like the baby face who always he never gets on top. That's a bit like Mick Foley, Mankind earlier in the days. Like he never gets to win. Um, Obviously Bryan's a better wrestler than Mankind, but or more technical at least. But yeah, I just don't think that they have the big personalities anymore, and I think what that stems down to is just the lack of ideas from Vince McMahon because he just doesn't. Because all the big names have just gone on to do something else now, and I think Vince is a bit scared of that because he just doesn't want any stars to leave, because the only big names that we had in the past that's still there now are like Randy Orton and Edge and maybe even Bobby Lashley. So yeah, I just don't think there's the personality.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea of it. I think the point you made about he doesn't want like his biggest stars to leave, so he doesn't let them develop into that, like The Rock kind of a character. He doesn't let them become like this big superstar. Because I think he knows, as much as we all know, the WWE isn't the top of the pyramid, it's like towards the bottom of it. So if they get really big in WWE and like the mainstream media sees it and they're like, oh yeah, go on, yeah, yeah, like that, then they're more likely to like swoop in and try and take them, like they did with The Rock going off to Hollywood, and obviously Stone Cold's sort of it's a different case that Stone Cold's done a lot of like movies and TV shows and whatnot, but that was all really after he retired. I think it's just a case of sometimes the allure of Hollywood it's bigger to people than just staying in the WWE. But obviously, it was different with Austin, but we see it with Cena now. I think Cena's run his course as a wrestler. I think anybody would tell you that. And I think it's perfectly fine for him to go off into Hollywood now. He's the biggest name WWE's had in the last 15 years. Um, so it makes perfect sense that he would go off and become this multimedia fucking unit, you know? Um, but I think there's other points that would probably play into why there aren't any big stars. I think the one you mentioned about there being no really like unique ideas definitely plays in. But then you've also got stuff like there's not enough eyes on the company anymore. Because we talked about last week like the ratings. So like Raw's ratings are at an all-time low. SmackDown's are better, but not by a massive margin, right? You know, back in the day, WWE and WCW would be cracking 5 million uh, in the night, cracking an average of 5 million easy. Like if they got below that, then it's a failure, you know. And now WWE, the biggest wrestling company in the world, their flagship show is failing. So you know, there's just a lot of things that are sort of playing into it, I guess. There's the fact nobody cares about wrestling anymore. I mean, you know, we do a podcast on it, and I think it's safe to say we don't care like a huge amount anymore because I think we might have explained it in another video, but um, the actual content that WWE puts out is just so shit that we just can't be asked to watch it anymore. So
Yeah.
you know, when we who are wrestling fans don't care, then why would the mainstream media care? It's just, you know, whatever,
Like
man.
even
It's
people who grew up with it, like don't even like it anymore. Like
yeah, they all just
I
tune
said
out.
I said last week about my dad watching wrestling, and how he hated Nia Jax. It was on again this week, and again he was just like, it's always when Nia Jax is on. I don't know, I don't know what that is about, but yeah, he doesn't like Nia Jax.
Yeah, I think there's,
I
you know, there's so much stuff that goes into wrestling now, and like people say, oh well, if you don't like WWE, there's always like alternatives. It's not just that. I think it's just wrestling in general is it's just not interesting anymore, you know?
no,
I think, you know, I tried watching AEW. Yeah, I used to watch Impact as well. It's just, I think the whole business is going through like a massive, I don't know, recession? I don't think that would be the word, but it, no, I guess it would be a recession, really. The business is going through a recession in terms of quality and, you know, quantity as well, because people say, oh, there's all these other alternatives. Well, the thing is, these alternatives are running out because companies like AEW and WWE are just buying up all of their competition. You know, they buy up all the best wrestlers from them, and then nobody's going to watch the other companies, so they just go out of business. So even that argument of, oh, well, there's always other wrestling you could watch that you might like, even that, you can't even use that really anymore because half of them just don't exist and can't run. But
I, I feel
go.
like the pandemic also has a bit to play in it because
Oh yeah,
whereas like film industries, like they can just keep streaming like film, they could just keep doing that. With wrestling, they couldn't really get all the big names on board. You know, they obviously had to self-isolate. Someone to be with their families, uh, whilst isolating. So people kind of left the product, and obviously they weren't making money, so they can't afford the big stars anymore. And when half of them aren't showing up anyways, it just sort of doesn't really give time to build up the characters, you know. So
yeah, I get what you're saying. I think there's loads and loads of problems with the wrestling industry. I think the biggest one, obviously, is the speaking out movement, which is still going. You know, guys like um, Velveteen Dream, who else? Will Ospreay has been sort of affected by it a little bit. You know, I say this. He was literally like last week the New Japan World Champion, so he's not been super affected by it. But he did disappear wrestling for quite a while. But anyway, yeah, you know, Velveteen Dream has been done for it. Matt Riddle sort of felt the effects of it a little bit. A lot of guys in the WWE NXT UK, obviously we've spoken about that in the past. I think stuff like this it's definitely harmful to the wrestling industry, but the fact that it was happening anyway, obviously, it's probably more harmful because it would be discouraging to people trying to get into the industry to or get in, I suppose, because stuff like that will happen and has happened. So I think speaking out definitely causing a big problem. COVID, obviously, because nobody can go and attend the live shows other than obviously WrestleMania. And just the fact that WWE, the content is garbage. You know, I think that's another big one that we all ignore is you can't have a big star if what you're making is crap. You know, the biggest star they've got is Roman Reigns. I think that's obvious to see. And even then, Roman Reigns is only a big star now because they've started writing him well. You know, WWE wanted you to think he was a big star a long time ago, and I guess he was because he was known, but he wasn't in terms of what the fans want. He wasn't a big star because the fans didn't like him. But now, obviously, we do. You know, fans do like him because he's this fucking weapon of a man. But yeah, yeah, it's just people don't want to watch wrestling anymore. I think is the biggest takeaway. People don't want to watch it because what we're getting out is not worth watching. I suppose.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, it's a little sad, but it's whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously they're gonna have to find a way to get out of this issue where it's just like they have no one big.
yeah.
They need a big show.
They do need a big show. That is true.
Well, well, even
Getting
he's
back.
gone now.
I was gonna say he's in AEW now, so you know,
Oh, he'll make a
man
Rumble
like Paul
appearance.
White. Nah, you won't, mate. He's AEW commentator with I was gonna say with Taz, but Taz does the B show, which is unfortunate because I love Taz. Taz on commentary is great. If you've never seen a clip of Taz on commentary, you need to need to get some. They're good stuff. Because
I'll bear that in.
he just doesn't care. He just sits there and he just fucking waffle. It's like if we did commentary, they just don't care.
Hey, we'll be great at commentary.
Well, like
And they
you
can
know,
Nia Jax. Oh, my dad doesn't like her.
no. Honestly,
That's
Taz
what
will
it'll be
just
like.
be like, he'll be like, someone will come into the ring and the other guy doing commentary with Excalibur will be like, he weighs however many pounds, and he would just go, oh yeah, that's quite heavy, isn't it? Just shit like that. Like he just does not care. It's great. Yeah,
That,
love
that
Taz.
sounds kind of cool, actually. Oh, I'm
Love
gonna have to
Taz. What
check
a
that out.
guy. What a guy. But yeah, so well, I think we've answered the question there, haven't we? Why are there no big
Yeah, oh,
stars?
yeah.
Because wrestling is shit.
We may not have answered it how people would have answered it,
Oh yeah,
but
but
personally,
we've answered it in
I
a
think
way,
this
I
is,
suppose.
yeah, I mean, it's, we there's no definitive answer really, but
Oh no, there's quite a lot of factors, factoria.
I just want to say that in case anyone like watches this in the future, so it's like, oh, I disagree,
Yeah, well, guess what,
but
nerd?
we don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Get about it, you little bitch.
You little pussy. Well, you gonna complain because we don't like wrestling, but we do a podcast on it? What are you gonna do about it, huh? You gonna report us for
Yeah,
what?
John.
Yeah,
Don't know who John is.
motherfucker. I'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch. You piece of shit. Anyway,
Right.
yeah, we'll move on, because obviously we've answered our questione. And we'll move on to our second question, which, actually, to be fair, we could use that to... It sort of ties into the first one a little bit. And that is, does kayfabe matter anymore? So obviously we know what kayfabe is, but for those watching who might not, kayfabe is pretty much the... I guess it's the lies that a wrestler will tell, or the character that the wrestler will perform as, and them sort of treating themselves like that in person. So like IRL, for example, um, to keep in kayfabe back in the day, heels and baby faces would never ride in the same like car or like taxi or carpool with each other or whatever or anything in case they got caught, because obviously one's a bad guy, one's a good guy. You gotta stick to your characters, I guess, because even though it's, you know, very clear that this isn't what they're like in person, back in the day, in like the 80s and I guess the early 90s too, people believed that it was a bit, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, Joe, do you think kayfabe matters still?
Well, this is actually kind of funny because, as I said earlier, I was watching wrestling at the weekend, and they had a segment with Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Matt Riddle, and Randy Orton. And I was thinking because obviously I watched back in the day, back in 2009, and I remember Kofi Kingston destroying Randy Orton's bloody car. So iconic clip. Every wrestling fan's probably seen that um segment. And I was just like, God, why are they hanging out together? I'll still be pissed. I will still hold a grudge. And then a few seconds later, they actually referenced their old feud, and I was just like, well, it just doesn't matter anymore. Like they just don't follow it. But I think it should matter because, like, you think about good storytelling, right? It carries on, and I just feel like just because it's been like 10 or so years, 10, 11, 12 years since their feud, doesn't mean they can just laugh it off and be like, ha ha ha, we're friends now because you no longer have the championship. Like, it's stupid. Like, if I if you had a car and I wanted it off you, but I couldn't get it, so I kicked the crap out of you, but I still couldn't get the car. Um, and then 10 years later, you no longer have that car, and I'm just like, oh yeah, we're friends now because you don't have the car. It doesn't make sense. You would still be angry at me because I fucked you up. Um, not not saying you as in you, Jack, but I'm saying you as in person listening, right?
I was gonna say is, you know,
This is the
if
weirdest
this
tangent
was
ever.
if this was something that would happen, I doubt you would have been able to fucking A, you can't drive, and B, I doubt you would
Yeah,
try and
well,
beat me up to get my car.
it's it's just a weird analogy. It's probably one of my weirdest tangents so far. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much my entire point. There's no more grudges, and there's no resolution to the anger apart from, oh, you no longer have what I want. Yet I'm not angry at you.
Hmm.
Like, it's stupid.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying there. Actually, I think that example of Kofi and Orton is quite pertinent because obviously they're, I guess, together-ish on television now. But it also, you know, these guys were having a feud literally, what, I think last week? Not last week, Jesus. Sorry, last year, or maybe the year before, when Kofi was the WWE champion. Because obviously they had a shit, but still there, feud. So, it's still fresh in the memory. These guys were literally feuding less than 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden they're chums, they're pals. And it doesn't, to me anyway, it doesn't make much sense. I don't I don't really get why WWE do this. They just sort of, I think maybe because they've run out of like good ideas and they can't long-term book anymore. But they just sort of just stick people together willy-nilly, They're just like, "Oh yeah, just get over the fact that you broke my car and you fucking kicked the crap out of me and put me through a table and said you're going to beat up my children and all this kind of shit." They just forget it and move on. And I think that is, for me at least, like, that's really poor booking. They just brush that under the rug. Even as you said, they brought it up. They're just like, yeah, that did in fact happen, but I don't care anymore because you don't have the belt. So what's the point? It just makes you think. Well, what was the point of the feud in the first place? If yeah, it's quite a long time. 10 years. What 2009? Whatever. 12 years, right? It's 12 years since this all happened, but as you said, I'd still hold a grudge if you were threatening to beat up my kids, you know, and for fucking smashing me through a table and stuff. I would still be angry at this. And you get stuff like the Shield. They split up and they just sort of got back together, and like these guys fucking hated each other. Like these guys, they really, really hated each other after this fact, and like they had like all these feuds and stuff. And then all of a sudden, Rollins and Ambrose just become mates again. And then they just go, "Hey, Roman, come on. Promise. Neither of us are going to turn on you. Haha. Lol." And it's just like, oh, yeah, forget the fact that Seth turned his back on you guys to get ahead in his career. Just, just be chums with him again. Because who cares, you know? And that's in a much shorter time period. I think it was about 4 years between the splitting up of the Shield and them getting back together, right? That's even less time than the Kofi Orton example you've given. So it it just makes you think, well, what's the point, you know? And another thing, kayfabe in real life it doesn't exist anymore. I think because of social media, we see what these wrestlers do in their day-to-day life, and they post everything on their Snapchats and their Instagrams and Twitter and whatnot. They just don't have kayfabe. They're just chilling in Cedar Rapids. You know, they don't care. They can be friends with whoever they want because everyone knows obviously wrestling's fake nowadays. Well, fake. It's you know what I mean when I say that.
It's
Everyone.
real to me, damn it.
Everyone is aware that it's like scripted and stuff, so they don't really care that much. But as someone who obviously I don't really care like that much to the point that it ruins my viewing experience, but like they could at least try and make an effort to make it still seem like it used to. Yeah, we get it, you're friends in real life and stuff, but if you're actually actively feuding on television, don't then start posting pictures of the two of you hanging out in a pub. You know? Don't be doing shit like that. You can be posting like, yeah, you're my mate and all, but I've got to batter some sense into you because that plays on like real life stuff. So fair enough, right? But don't be chumming around with the people you're supposed to be feuding with back behind the scenes and then posting pictures of it. God forbid, because it just breaks all immersion. Like, obviously, we know that they're acting, but still, like, just just try and make it seem real, you know, because your Twitter account, it's got the wrestler's name, not your name. Therefore, post what the wrestler would, not what you would. Think of Baron Corbin, right? Baron Corbin is a heel on his Twitter and his Instagram account. He's always posting like you're a fat fucking virgin nerd about random people in his comments getting angry at him. That's perfect. He's keeping kayfabe. He's using his social media the way he should. Because his gimmick is that he's a nasty bastard, and he's being a nasty bastard. So it makes perfect sense, right? Stuff like that's fine. Then you get, like, you know, Randy Orton, like, fucking posting shit about wanting to beat the crap out of Soldier Boy. Fair enough, right? You know, seems like something he would do. But yeah, so, you know, there are people that still trying to hold up kayfabe. Like I say, Orton and Corbin are good examples of that. I think Daniel Bryan also does a good job of it as well. I remember, I think it was the Hall of Fame 2019, I want to say, where the New Day were celebrating, and it cuts to Daniel Bryan. He's giving them a disapproving look, and like stuff like that, you know, because the Hall of Fame is obviously like an out of character ceremony thing. Stuff like that. That's good. That's what I want. That's the kind of stuff that I'm looking for when I mean keeping the kayfabe. You don't have to ride in like, well, I was about to say you don't have to ride in different cars. I mean, it helps, but you know, it's stuff like that, little bits that make it seem like, ooh, it's a little bit more real, you know, even though obviously we all know it isn't. Stuff like that, that's what I want to see in wrestling these days, and we don't see enough of it. And that's because social media just ruined kayfabe for all of us. Um, and the wrestling industry as a whole has sort of moved away from gimmicky kind of stuff like that anyway. You know, I think the Attitude Era pretty much just killed the idea of like hyper gimmicky wrestlers. You still get gimmick wrestlers, obviously. And even in the Attitude Era, obviously you got gimmick wrestlers. You know, you got Val Venus, you got Al Snow, um, others. You know, Job Squad. Uh, you know, they've all got gimmicks and stuff. But you look at like who was main eventing, The Rock and Stone Cold, Kurt Angle. They don't really have gimmicks. They're more just extensions of the personality, which is what we see pretty much all over the shop in WWE. You get a couple of gimmicks, you know, Aleister Black. Um, who else? I was going to say No Way Jose, but yeah, he's gone. You know what I mean. That you know, most of the gimmick wrestlers these days, they're like lower card or like mid card at most. Back in the day, obviously, like height of the golden era, I guess we'll call it. Hulk Hogan, his gimmick was that he was this big fucking America loving, mustache having, vitamin taking son of a gun. You know, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior. These guys had gimmicks, right? Nowadays, you look at what gimmick does Roman Reigns have? You know, he's just some big hard bastard. You know, what gimmick does? Yeah, you know what gimmick does Drew McIntyre have? Well, he's just Scottish.
Big muscle.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley, he's just big muscle man. So I think kayfabe disappearing out of the industry also has to do with people just not having gimmicks and then therefore not feeling the need to keep kayfabe as much. You know, like I say, Brian still manages to hold on to it, so kudos to him because you know I love Daniel Bryan and I love the little things he does like that, and that's you know why I think that's why he's the goat. He's not the goat, but he's in terms of modern wrestlers, he's up there. I would say. But anyway, I'm just gushing about Daniel Bryan a bit here.
Well, I agree with you actually, because I feel like another really good one is actually The Miz. and we talk about Miz and Daniel Bryan a lot, especially together. Um, I
Yeah,
think that's
no,
what.
yeah, you got a point there. I think the Miz
But
is another
yeah,
great example. Yeah.
he just keeps his personality of, oh, I'm a big movie star, I'm the big time. Bitches want to fuck me. Uh, well, he doesn't really say that, but yeah. So I like the Miz, I like Daniel Bryan, and I think they're the only two that really have a personality that translates. Um,
Oh
but it's
yeah,
also
in like modern
nothing like
WWE, yeah.
that. But it's also nothing like what they are in real life.
Yeah, no. Well, it's like well, Daniel Bryan is when he's like playing like a face, he's a little bit like he is in real life and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah,
But you know, like I say, the modern idea of like a wrestling character is to be an extension of your own personality. And Chris Jericho is like a prime example of that because
yeah,
in AEW he's just some loud, obnoxious like rock star goober, and in real life he is just an obnoxious rock star goober, and he believes in conspiracy theories,
I
and he's
think
an
that Ricochet
anti-vaxxer
is a lot like real life because he
because he's a
doesn't wear a mask.
dickhead. He's a dickhead.
We need to do a podcast where we don't mention Ricochet at all.
Try not to mention Ricochet challenge. Impossible.
Ricochet talking smack segment
What else?
or Grim's Toy Show.
Yeah, the Big Show as well. We always. I've noticed
We
we
all
do
say
seem
the
to
Big
mention
Show.
the Big Show. We do seem to mention the Big Show a lot.
He's
But
fucking awesome.
he is, man like Paul White,
Man,
goated on
not
the
Paul White.
sticks. Um, but yeah, I think we can. I think we've said our pieces about uh
We've definitely
Miss
extended it.
Miss K Fabe. Um, yeah, and I think we'll move on to topic numero tres. And this is one that I was thinking about. Maybe we do an individual wrestler because obviously I think in the last couple of weeks we've stopped doing them. But I was like, actually, I'd rather just talk about what they've been doing recently rather than just talk about the whole career. And I was thinking, Ryback's been. So I was
He
thinking like,
had.
I was thinking, he's public eye recently, I guess, and is this intentional, an accidental thing? And I think I'll give you a little. My opinion is on this. I think it's
I do
intentional.
as well.
But the question is Ryback
Well, he's just become a meme, hasn't he? I mean, we all know the myth of the LGBT community and not caring. But yeah, all he does now is just post shit, but people just love it. And well, a lot of the subjects tied into what I did last week. And the other week I saw posted something on Instagram, and it was just basically a Karen meme, but with Stephanie McMahon, and I was just like, that's fucking genius. Because all the wrestling pages are gonna be looking at that, and they're gonna be saying, oh, Ryback's calling his old boss, or one of them anyway, one of his old bosses, a Karen, and I just fucking loved it. Um, but yeah, I just think he's a genius because the internet is obviously a big part nowadays, and we've seen a lot of people get success because of the internet. We've seen people get obviously jobs, and we've seen like with the release of the Snyder Cut, the internet has a big role to play in media nowadays, and I just think that he's playing the game. Um, Also calling the woman who marries the game a Karen. So that was a bad joke, but yeah. So I just think he's a genius.
Mm. I do think the point you were just sort of making there, it made me think. You know, you mentioned like the Snyder Cut and stuff. It made me think like you were gonna say, well, we can get WWE to rehire Ryback because we all asked them nicely on Twitter.
hashtag release
Hashtag
the right back cut.
hashtag Riot back in the company. Mm.
Yes, Raya him back. No,
Yeah, that one was a little bit forced. I'm not gonna lie.
I can
Raya,
see it.
Rye back in the saddle.
Raya him back. Yeah, Riley. No, I'm giving up.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say
too
you're
good.
going down a dark path there, Joe. Um.
I'm not funny, guys. Well, to
Anyway,
be fair, you're better at the name than I am. But
yeah.
we've all seen your fucking name.
Yes, we have. Um, gay sex legend. Um,
Gay sex. Oh,
but yeah, so I think Ryback has absolutely played the game here. He's made himself, he's brought himself back in the public eye of the wrestling industry. With the remember he did the polls on Twitter where it was like he gave a couple options. It was like go work for AEW, go work for WWE, go work for Impact, or retire. And then like everyone was voting for retire, and like he made another post like, listen, everyone's like, you know, they're vote botting retire and stuff. So he did like another one, and it kind of went on and stuff. And I think it's quite obvious to see he wasn't vote botted retire. I think it was just he took a situation where he built, you know, he didn't have to put the retire thing in, but he did anyway because he knew he would get attention from people voting for retire because he knows what the wrestling fandom would want, I guess, which is it's a shame for him that he knows that they all want him to retire, but sort of move along from that. He took advantage of this and brought attention to himself again by doing this, like pretending it's been like vote botted and stuff, and then like doing another one, and then he gets even more votes and stuff. You know, he's bringing more eyes to himself, and he's just using like a funny situation to his advantage to get more people to, I don't know, to see him. And yeah, I think it's worked very well for him. You know, he's back in the public eye. Obviously, there's the meme, as you said, of him eating the crisps. And, like, all he does these days is he sits on his ass and he eats food. Yeah, he just does mukbangs and then goes to the gym. That's all the guy does. And I, I don't think there's any chance he would get back in a wrestling ring, like, immediately. Because, like I say, all he does is he goes to the gym, and then he comes home, and he makes, like, two food review videos where he eats like 7 Wendy's burgers in the space of 20 minutes, you know? The man he's living his best life. He's just chilling, eating his food, making his YouTube money. He's doing his thing. And he's found a way to exploit the wrestling fandom, and obviously he knows like the public aren't generally massive fans of him. He's found a way to exploit it and get attention back onto himself. And you know, you can like plug his YouTube channel and stuff. I'm sure he's made like a video about the whole vote botting in quotation marks. He made like a whole video about the vote botting, I'm sure. You know, I'm sure he got views off of that. You know, like he's exploiting the system. And I rate him for that. He's managed to burrow his way back into the public knowledge. Obviously, you know, us, for example, we've known about what Ryback's been doing for a while, but for people who didn't follow him, this is a great way for him to get back in the public eye and to start getting like new viewers and stuff. Because I'm sure I've seen some of his videos. You know, he's an entertaining bloke. He's quite funny. I wouldn't say he's like the most conventionally funny fella, but yeah, his videos are good to have on in the background, I guess. Sounds really mean. But you know what I kind of mean. Like he's an entertaining bloke, and he deserves more views. And I guess he's found his way to get more. Because I'm sure a lot of wrestling fans, as soon as he left the company, they're just like they forgot about him. But now he's back. He's
He is
Ryback.
rather.
Legally, his name is Ryback now. So, you know,
I mean, fair play to him because I think he's tricking everyone. He's like, oh no, don't do it, guys. Don't be.
don't be
It's like
voting.
the thing
Yeah,
where it's
no,
like,
that's exactly what it is. It's reverse psychology. It's like, you know, obviously they must have vote botted because nobody, you know, not all of these people want me to retire. You know, it's just internet trolls and stuff. You know, it's reverse psychology. He's bringing attention to it. It's smart stuff.
it. Well, I don't do it intentionally, but it's like in my Jackbox streams where you're all fucking like all the people who are playing the game are like calling me gay and shit, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh,
you're
stop
just
calling
like,
me gay, and it happens more.
you're just like, oh, stop bringing up Ebony. Ugh.
Yeah, it's just shit like that, and
Yeah, but
it just
it
happens
makes for
more.
yeah,
So I've
it
learned
makes
not to
for
address
a
it now.
yeah, it just makes for a more entertaining makes for a more entertaining stream, I suppose.
But it obviously could be exploited, like,
Yeah, I
and
mean, you do get certain people whose name I won't mention who do take it a little far.
well, yeah,
Um,
that's bound to happen. I mean, I'm sure that's happening with Ryback.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I've not seen it happen personally, but I'm sure it is happening because
yeah,
it's just the
yeah.
internet. It's just how it
People are
is.
getting angry at Ryback because he's getting back in getting back in the public's good books. They're annoyed because he's too big.
He's doing well.
He's the biggest guy.
But he's the biggest back. That makes sense.
Oh, oh, right.
I'm sorry. I'm not on. I'm not on with the jokes today. Please don't replace me. I'm sorry. I'll you'll have a new host next week.
Yeah,
Everyone.
just joined as ever by my wonderful co-host Ryback.
Oh
Oh
my god.
God!
Do
If
you
we
reckon we
got
can actually get him
Ryback
on?
on, we probably honestly right.
Oh right, we're tweeting at him later.
There's no harm in asking if we can get Ryback on. Money, that is money. Honestly, we'll just interview Ryback.
Oh my
I'd
god.
love that.
Who's your favorite
I
person to wrestle,
yeah, just
and why is it Kalisto?
CM Punk.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Punk. He
Oh
probably
god, yeah.
will take Kalisto. He just dominated him.
Oh, he just got to batter him for like 20 minutes, but then he would still lose. So
That's all he posts on Instagram. It's just fucking edits of him fucking dominating like him and like
yeah, just
Kalisto
beat the
Dolph
shit out
Ziggler.
of Kalisto and Sin Cara, Bo Dallas. Good stuff.
It's just fucking superstars on the fucking ring. He never posts anything about Raw. Then kind of.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing to post, is there?
Oh
Just
yeah.
him jobbing out to John Cena.
Well, we're gonna have to wait a few months now until like because if we ask him later tonight and he watches our
Oh
latest
yeah,
episode,
yeah.
which he's just going, we're just fucking calling him a jobber and shit.
You're
We're
not a
poking him
jobber,
the sleeping
Ryback.
bear.
Obviously, you know, you did get unfairly jobbed out to people like John Cena and CM Punk, but we believe you could have been much more.
He would have
If
been
it
great
weren't
in the
for
company now.
yeah, he would. He honestly, if they brought him back,
We see
he
about
would
what like
be
Cesaro and stuff are doing now, and that like
yeah.
they're obviously like
Honestly,
they all came in at the same time, like the Shield and Ryback and
Honestly, right?
Cesaro.
If he came back now, I think he could easily challenge Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I don't think they'll let him win, but they could put on a good match.
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to see that kind of match. That'd be great.
It's because it's just the same big guys all the time. We want another one. Feed him more.
Feed me more.
Feed me more. Du-du-du-du-du.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Ryback.
Ryback. There he is.
Back in black. Right,
Thunderstruck.
let's
Anyway,
just continue. Let's just continue before we make any more shit
yeah,
jokes.
it's just gonna get worse and worse.
What is wrong with us today?
Honestly, we're off the mark today.
Oh,
But we'll
I
move on
just had a
to
lot of
our.
coffee.
Yeah, I've got a can of Pipeline Punch Monster Punch Energy. It's quite nice.
Never heard of that.
Cans in bright pink. It's quite nice. I think it's like a. I don't even know what flavour it is. It's Pipeline Punch flavour. It is. I'll read the can. This will extend the view time. Orange, apple, guava, pineapple, and passion fruit.
What are the ingredients? Is there any
Well, there is
soy, hydrolax?
carbonated water, fruit juices from concentrate, sucrose, glucose syrup, taurine, citric acid, maltodextrin, flavouring, acidity regulators, preservatives, caffeine, vegetable oil, sweeteners, starch, right?
Tony Starch was able. Sorry.
Vitamins. There you go. It's part of my 5 a day. And sodium chloride. So salt. There is salt in my drink.
Well, no, because people say that salt brings out flavour, don't they? Like people put in like chocolate milkshakes and stuff.
Yes, yeah. They also put potatoes in McDonald's chocolate milkshakes.
Oh,
Did you not know that?
is that why people like dunk the chips in?
Well, I don't think that's exactly why, but I think it probably plays a part. It's because they
Oh
use
shit! It makes sense.
they use potato starch to thicken the
Oh,
milkshake. Yeah. There you go. Don't tell.
my dad.
Don't say you don't learn anything from the Wrestling Answers podcast.
I've learned something today.
Yeah,
This is
exactly,
brilliant.
exactly.
My dad was
Anyway,
showing me his
oh,
awesome like fucking recipes. He brought in a big bottle of sparkling water. He's like, right, 17p. And I was just like, why have you
sparkling
just been drinking
water.
sparkling water on its own? And he was like, no, I don't. He was going all technical into it. I had a little bit of squash into it. It makes a really nice fizzy drink. And I was just like, well, yeah, but
Good.
can't you just buy a bottle of fizzy drink for a little bit more? Then you don't have to buy the squash and the sparkling
But it's
water.
cheaper though.
It is
Saving
cheaper,
peas.
but it's effort in it.
Obviously, Joe.
It's
You
effort.
don't have the hustle mindset. It's
Just
clear for
buy.
us all
Just
to see,
I'd rather have normal squash
mate.
or
You just don't have the
just
hustle
cherry.
mindset. It's fine.
I don't
Your
know.
dad's got
I
the
was
hustle
actually gonna
mindset.
do. I was gonna do a segment because I went to the orthodontist this week, so obviously I had like an hour car ride with my dad, and he was telling me like all his game ideas, and I was gonna do a segment on him. I was gonna be the true or false bit. It's like, is this an idea my dad had for a game? They're just brilliant. This is this.
Right.
Um, Royal Rumble Battle Royale, and yes, it is what it sounds like.
So, what is it? Just like a giant
But
ring,
it's just
but also a
yeah, it's
battle
just a
royal?
giant ring. It's like Fortnite, but fucking wrestling, but it's a Royal Rumble.
Right.
It's
Well,
brilliant.
well,
He's had so many great
we'll listen
ideas.
to a. You can tell us a couple more. We'll just do
We'll
the
do one
last
of them.
wrestling segment, and then we'll move on to
Yeah.
the everything else segment. So our last segment of the wrestling part of the Answers podcast. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Is banned moves in the WWE. So stuff like pile drivers, chair shots to the head, um, some other ones. Can't really think of the other ones. There are other ones. I'm trying to think.
Correct.
Burning
You want me to
hammer.
get up the list?
There you go. Yeah, you can. Why not? There are several.
Back. There we go.
Burning hammer.
Chair shots, the punt, anaconda. Oh,
The anaconda vice is banned. Oh, mate, I whip out the anaconda vice on my brother sometimes. What a
Oh, I
move!
can't get up the list. It's not allowed. I can't see the full
Oh,
list.
disgusting.
But here we go. What culture? We all have a bit of what culture, don't we? I know you do.
Yeah,
Poison
definitely. Look,
Frankensteiner.
Franken.
Oh fuck! I'm gonna have to click on a new web page every time I want to click. They've done one on a web page, and
Yeah,
then the link to it.
yeah,
So I'll go back.
they give like a bit of
Oh,
waffle about it. Yeah.
Muscle Buster. There we go. We're only looking at two because I can't be
Oh
bothered
yeah,
with
yeah, the
six.
muscle buster. Yeah, yeah, because apparently Joe broke Tyson's neck with it.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Tyson.
Yeah, yeah, you did it. Yeah, that's
That's just a
that,
joke.
that was a good one. That was a good one. I didn't mind that one.
Oh, you know.
But yeah, well, it's just like, do you think some of those could come back? Pretty much is all I'm asking, really. I think,
Well, it depends on how safe people are with it.
yeah, I think the Muscle Buster can because, and this is obviously it broke Tyson Kidd's neck, but the Muscle Buster is, if you think about it logistically, one of the safest moves in wrestling to take because all it is you take a flat back bump while your neck is cradled in the other wrestler's shoulder, and like, it's just a flat back bump, is all you're taking really. Like, I don't know why it got banned. Well, I know why it got banned. It got banned because Tyson broke his neck. But Tyson broke his neck because he took it wrong. It wasn't Joe's fault, but everyone blames it on Joe because the Muscle Buster looks like it's a more painful move than it actually is. All the Muscle Buster is they cradle the head between the shoulder and the arm, and you fall on your back from like an elevated position. It's like taking like a scrunched up suplex, you know? It's not a super dangerous move or anything. I think a more dangerous one would be there's an alteration of the Muscle Buster where it's like a neck breaker, where rather than like, falling and taking the back bump, what they do is they just like fall on their knee. The person delivering the move falls on their knees, and then like it just fucking destroys the back of your neck. That's a lot more dangerous. Ban that one. But a regular Muscle Buster, you're pretty much just like packaged up. So the only thing that really you should be able to break, unless you're Tyson Kidd and you take it wrong, is you might, well, that it might hurt your lower back. That can come back for my money. What else? I think a pile driver, if delivered, certain versions of a pile driver can come back. I think a sit-out pile driver, like what Jerry Lawler used to do. Jerry Lawler, as much as I criticise him for being a crap wrestler, he had two things he was really, really good at. One was delivering a punch, because he was the best for a work punch, and two was a pile driver. His pile drivers were bloody good, and they were always super safe as well. Like you could see, he always took the head properly. It always looked great, and nobody ever got injured from a Lawler pile driver from memory, at least in the WWE. I think a pile driver can come back if done safely. So no like fucking twisting 450 off the top rope pile driver shit. None of that kind of crap. And to be fair, pile drivers have sort of come back in recent years because the Canadian Destroyer is it's a flipping pile driver. We saw it at WrestleMania, right? They let Bad Bunny do one. So I think the pile driver's on its way to coming back. Just obviously don't be doing it in every single match because obviously we know like a lot more about like head trauma and stuff. And if you take a pile driver wrong, as we saw with Steve Austin against Owen Hart, it can go very wrong very easily. So just bring back the safe versions, like a sit-out pile driver, or I think a tombstone, like a modern tombstone. Look at the Undertaker. Undertaker's tombstones are very safe, normally, unless you're Goldberg. Stuff like that, they're fine. Like I say, Canadian Destroyer, I think they're probably fine. What else? What other band moves are there? Chair shots to the head can stay banned, I think.
Oh yeah, they won't have any trash.
Like yeah, a chair shot to the head, bro. Your cranium is just gonna rattle. Like
I mean, it's just like if they were going to bring them back, like use prop chairs.
yeah.
Like
Well,
don't use real.
even then, I would say like that could still even go wrong, even if you use like a prop chair. Like smash like a wooden chair over somebody's head, still gonna hurt them a lot.
Just
So
do like a cardboard cutout
yeah,
at the right angle. It'll look real.
yeah. What else? What else was on that list? There was a Burning Hammer. Burning Hammer, I don't really. It depends if you do a proper Burning Hammer. Because a proper Burning Hammer, you literally drop them on their head and neck. So don't do that one. But Tyler Rex, that's an old name. Tyler Rex used to do one, which was like an uh, inverted attitude adjustment. So it's like from a torture rack position, you do like an attitude adjustment. Something like that's cool. I don't mind that. Just not like a proper drop them on their fucking head and neck kind of one. No. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really. Most of it is just like weapon shots and stuff, which I think can stay banned. You know, head headshots, keep them out. I think Muscle Buster can come back. Burning Hammer can, in some way, come back. Pile Driver, kind of the same. Some ways it can come back, just not like some fucking, I don't know, Thunder Liger triple suplex death pile driver. I don't know. But yeah, band moves. I think half of them come back. Half of them can stay. Because I don't think you're gonna kill
Yeah,
any. You're not gonna kill
I think it's
anyone
just
with
it
a
really.
pile driver. Yeah, it's just safety reasons. That's all it is.
Yeah, well, obviously, if someone gets hurt, I think they need to like review it and be like, well, is this just where they
Yeah,
did it
it could
wrong,
just be like it could just be like a one-off, or
or is
like
it
they
actually
did it wrong
dangerous?
or something. Yeah, exactly. Like I remember hearing the Buckle Bomb. Seth Rollins' Buckle Bomb. I remember that was supposed to get banned because there's a lot of margin for error in a Buckle Bomb. It doesn't look like it, but it can go very wrong very easily, as we saw with Finn Balor and with Sting, because he injured both of them with a Buckle Bomb. But surprisingly, the Stomp, or the Curb Stomp, it's called a Stomp, it's just called the Stomp now, but the Curb Stomp got banned instead of the Buckle Bomb, when the Curb Stomp is actually a much safer move to take, because what you do is you just, as you take it, right, sort of breaking the kayfabe of the industry here, you just put your hand on,
Oh,
you just put your hand under your face as you take it. Put your hands under your face. He's not actually fucking caving your skull into the mat. Whereas a buckle bomb, as we've seen with Finn Balor and Sting, that can go very wrong very easily. because you just chuck them at something, and they don't have control about where they're going to land because they're fucking floating through the air. So there's a lot of margin for error with the Buckle Bomb, but that stays unbanned, and Curb Stomp gets banned, even though it's actually perfectly safe. And the only reason it gets banned is because kids don't know how to take a Buckle Bomb safely. So, yeah, fuck them kids. Who cares, bro? Kids should just stop watching wrestling. There you go.
Don't try it at home, kids.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, the company say don't try it. You know, if
Oh,
you
we all tried it, didn't we?
if you curb stomp someone, it's not their fault. That's what I say. They shouldn't have to ban moves when they're telling you not to use them anyway.
I think everyone's just gonna try the rest of the moves, but I tried
Oh
them.
yeah, bro. I can remember. I
You
fucking
tried them.
yeah. I fucking like Batista bombed my brother once. Like, and you know that went well, fine-ish, I guess. He didn't die.
I used to pretend to be the Great Khali because I was big and chubby.
just do the what's his finish? The vice grip thing he used to do. Like one or two moves he could do.
I fucking love the Great Khali. Bring him back.
What a boy.
I know he's in the Hall of Fame now, but
He is, yeah.
put him in like a Rumble appearance.
Oh mate, honestly, Carly would win the Rumble. You got to book him to go over. But yeah, obviously, you know, we used to use these moves when we were kids and stuff. I mean, I wasn't trying like fucking Canadian destroyers and 450 splashes or anything. But
Don't lie, don't lie.
you know, I was most of the time the ones I would be doing were some of the safer ones. Like when I was a kid, I would just do the simple ones, like you know, an attitude adjustment or like a power bomb, super kick. I remember I used to do the super kick. I actually got really good at doing the super kick a while ago. Like I could get like the slap in tune, with like when the impact would happen. I could get my leg quite high. Um, I used to be able to do it quite well. And I remember, yeah, I think I said on the podcast before. I went for, I think I went for like one or two wrestling lessons. I say lessons, like sessions at a wrestling school. And I remember that was one of the ones I was planning. I was like, yeah, you know, I can make that like a signature move, and then for my finisher, I'll do like this fucking cool like DDT where like you cross their arms, and then like when they're like, you know, you've got the head like between your arm and like I don't know, like your torso, right? Then you like lift them up a bit and then drop them, so it's like a cross arm impaler DDT thing. I remember that was going to be my finisher, and I thought I was the coolest guy, right? Because you know, super kicks and like these cool DDT variations, all this kind of stuff. I thought I was the dog's bollocks.
If
Um,
you watch the Triple H Tough Enough clip, you can actually see Jack in the background. He's the guy with the
I know what
with
you're gonna say. Yeah,
with the shorts. That's it.
yeah, it's funny, mate.
He was
It's a
there,
good
guy.
one.
He took a bump.
Yeah, honestly, taking
What
a
a good
bump's not
flick.
even that bad. Yeah, a lot of wrestlers, when they say what's the worst part of training, they all go, "Oh, it's the taking the bumps part." I didn't find taking a bump that bad. Only reason I never went ahead with it is because I'm not a massive guy. Like, well, I'm tall, but I'm not like built like a fucking brick shithouse. So I wouldn't be very good at it, unfortunately. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure I could just make all my finishes band moves. You know, use the muscle buster, use a pile driver. My finish is just a chair shot to the head. You know,
Fucking blender guy.
yeah, just kill someone in the ring. I'm like New Jack, God rest his soul.
Be like a trash bag.
Yeah, I just
Fucking
get in the
cuts
ring. I
away.
just throw trash all over the ring.
Fucking bite him and shit. Oh,
Throw the chair. No, throw
I
the
want to
trash
see
can
the
at the guy's
character.
head.
Oh,
Ah,
No.
hey, honestly, I'd be up for a wrestling match. I would do
I,
one. If any
I
promoters
would
out
never
are
do
out
a
there,
wrestling match.
oh, not even against me.
I'm too much of a pussy.
Oh mate,
What?
I'd have a match against you. I'd fucking
Okay.
wallop you.
I just mean
Mate.
having like full training plan. Thinking, don't hurt
Yeah.
me.
There you go.
No, no. If we ever get to 1 million subs, we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll try
Oh
and
no,
arrange.
100k, 100k.
Yeah, we'll try and arrange a
Hell
match.
in a Cell match at 1 million. I'll fucking jump off it.
I'll throw you off like
Throw me off.
Undertaker and Manka.
Oh, fuck.
Uh,
Do like a 450 splash.
yeah, throw you off. Table doesn't break. I jump off with an elbow drop like Shane
Oh,
McMahon.
please get us to 1 million subs. I want to see
Yeah. Uh, but
that.
yeah, I think that covers the wrestling topics for today. We'll move on to your segment, the anything
Right.
else segment,
The
I
stuff.
suppose. The stuff.
The
There you go.
stuff. The stuff.
Stuff.
Um, stuff you should like. Yeah.
Sussel.
No, the L is silent, so it's just stuff.
Oh, okay. So it's should Ike.
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
didn't make that clear. I didn't make that
Okay.
clear. Wait, should I? Fucking, you asshole. Alright, so the first segment for today is E3's coming up. We all love a bit of E3.
We do.
Uh, so I I've sort of changed it to what I initially wrote down. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 5 games that we just really want, and then we're gonna pick a few out of each other's list, and
Yeah.
then
Okay.
we'll have one that we just both agree on.
Okay.
Um, and then we'll make the top 5 of what the two
Top
hosts.
5. Number
Um,
15.
so anything goes for this, but obviously make it realistic. So
Yeah.
don't say like Tomba 5000 because I don't even think there's gonna be a new Tomba game. There's not even 4,999. Uh, wait, what? But yeah, whatever. Oh, but yeah. So, um, what are your 5 games that you would have, or name one, and then I'll jump in and do one.
Okay. So my first one, it's a big one. Coming out of the gates hot. I'm going for Knack 3.
Yes, yes, I agree on that one. Hang on, I'm writing these down. Hang on, just so we can get a full list. Right. For mine, I'm gonna try and shy away from Smash characters because that's what I'm about really. But I'm gonna go with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4. I know we just did get 3, but I would like to see one come to all consoles and obviously the new gen. Um, I think it will just be good. So, uh, yeah, if you have to
Fair
say one.
enough. Yeah, fair enough. Uh, so for my second one, I have gone with Clay Fighters 3 or a remaster slash remake of the first one.
What's that? Sorry,
Clay Fighters. You don't know Clay Fighters?
never heard of it.
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. Right, okay. So Clay Fighters is a fighting game that was released for the SNES back in the 90s. It was revolutionary at the time for its use of pre-rendered 3D models that were more detailed than what's it called, that game, Mortal Kombat. It's more detailed than Mortal Kombat because Mortal Kombat used real people, but Clay Fighters used clay models, like Aardman do for Wallace and Gromit, stuff like that. And at the time, the game, the first one at least, was liked by people, I guess. But then they released a couple more, and it was making money. And there was supposed to actually be a Clay Fighters 3 quite a while ago, but it got cancelled because the company behind it, Interplay, just ran out of money, I guess. But apparently a remaster is on the cards, or it was on the cards 5 years ago, and we haven't heard anything since. So I'm holding out hope for either, as I say, a remake of the first Clay Fighters, just because I love the theme song to Clay Fighters. If you haven't heard it, look it up. Or a new Clay Fighters with more clay than ever before, and then they can put in fucking Wallace and Gromit. You know, make Wallace a fighter. He can wear the wrong trousers. There you go. See,
What fucking weird.
Clay. Listen, right. I love a bit of Clay. This is, you said it could be anything, right?
I
This
know I
this
said
is
it could
this
be
is
anything,
any
but
this is anything. This is anything.
right. I mean that is actually a very useful one. And yeah, but so for my second one, I've gone for a new Mario Kart game because we've not got one in a while. Obviously, we got the mobile one, but who the fuck plays that? We still got a new Mario game, even though they released a mobile Mario game. So just release a new Mario Kart. It's wanted. People want it.
Mm, mm. I mean, technically, they did that real life one, didn't they?
Oh, true. Yeah, but no one fucking plays it. Like 100 quid.
Yeah, yeah,
100 quid.
yeah. I get it.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, yeah. So
Mm.
it's getting to the point now. Where I'm struggling to think of new.
See, I've already got a list of 5 right here. For my third
Okay.
one,
Okay.
I want a Telltale style recreation of the entirety of Breaking Bad, including Better Call Saul and El Camino in game form. And I want Bryan Cranston to do mocap.
That's incredible. That
That's all I want.
that is incredible. It's
If
funny
it's
because the other week we were
if it
talking
would
about
be
watching Breaking Bad.
yeah, well,
Now you
if
want
it
to
would be too much, if it would be too much money for them, alternatively, they could make Breaking Bad into a visual novel, like uh, I think Toho is that a visual novel series? I don't know.
talk about game visual novel or
Yes,
just a
like a game
video.
visual novel. So you know what I
Yeah.
mean by them. That Famicom detective game that's just come out on the Switch, something like that,
Yeah.
but Breaking
Yeah.
Bad. Something like,
I'll just
or
put
as I
Breaking
say,
Bad
a
game.
Telltale style Breaking Bad game that includes mocap from all of it. So pretty much, right?
That's actually really.
It's a scene for scene recreation of the show, but with ray tracing, fucking 4K graphics, and it's on like Series X and PS5. And to run it on a PC, you need like a fucking Nvidia 3060 or something. Just the most
Fair enough.
graphically intensive game ever, but it's just Breaking Bad in a Telltale format. However,
I'll make it for you.
everything leads to the same conclusion because it's just a recreation of the show. So none of your options matter. But I want you to think that it does, but it doesn't really because it all does. It all just ties together in the.
Well, nothing really matters in Telltale game because it
Yeah,
just
that's true.
ends the same anyway.
Yeah, that's true. So anyway,
Uh,
what's your third one?
so my third one, it's probably gonna happen. It's probably gonna be revealed or at least teased or something.
Bayonetta
Final Fantasy
4.
VII remake. No, no. Final Fantasy VII remake part two.
Well, they already
just
have.
because.
Oh, but I was gonna say they already have. They haven't, but they have a bit, haven't they? With the extended version.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they
Is that
got
out
the
yet?
goofy bits. Uh, but
Is that out yet? The extended version.
no, it's out in June.
Ah,
See, it's well, I
it's
think
taken
it
them
is
a long
anyway. It's
time. It's
funny
taken
because
them a long time to
I've not
port a
played
game.
I've not finished the remake yet because
I
I
haven't
waited
even
for
played it
the
yet.
PS5 uh
Thing is, right, I've got it. I've got it
upgrade.
because they gave it to us for free, didn't they? So I've got
Yeah,
it.
I
I
bought it
own
before
it.
it came out for free.
Eh. Now I own it. I just can't be bothered to play it. I just don't care. I don't have the time, and I don't care also. That's the biggest part for me. I don't care.
Yeah, June 10th when the upgrade is out, so probably the DLC will be as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what is your
There's
next
my
game?
is my fourth one. Ah, well. My fourth one. I'm thinking, right? What is the gaming industry missing at the minute? I'll tell you. It's
Mario
missing
Kart 9.
a bit of sex appeal. So, my thinking is, why
You know
don't
what it's gonna be.
we bring back the Leisure Suit Larry series with a full remaster of the original three games? It's like the Crash Insane trilogy, but it's the Larry Naked trilogy. I don't know.
Didn't they do one recently?
It's probably a recent game, yeah. I will admit,
Uh,
I don't really follow the Leisure Suit Larry series that closely. I just think it'd be really funny if what's his name, Bill something or other, comes out on stage at the Microsoft presentation, and they go, "World premiere, optimized for Series X. Leisure Suit Larry is back, baby."
yeah, they Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dream, Dry Twice.
Yeah, that's a
Available
good
now.
name. It's a good name. Yeah, there you go. Get it optimized for
So
series. Get it optimized for Series X and PS5. Leisure Suit Larry remasters.
you'll be playing that later. So
Yeah,
we got that
exactly.
sorted. Anyways, my next one is again something that could happen. It's a
Bayonetta
new Donkey
5.
Kong. It's a new Donkey Kong Country game, basically. It doesn't even have to be a Donkey Kong game. Just give us something Donkey Kong. We want it. You've
Donkey
got it.
Kong.
Apparently, one's in the works. The people who make Mario Odyssey are doing it. So who
Nintendo
knows?
EAD. Oh, they're not called EAD anymore, are they? They used to be EAD, and then they closed EAD, and they became something else.
Yeah, I don't have a clue what they are now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, I think that would be cool, actually. I'd imagine they did, like, another open world Donkey Kong game, like Donkey Kong 64. Ooh. Ooh.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. Just start making like
Gonna
Donkey Kong
finally
noise.
hit. Right.
Chunky, he's dead.
We're on to the final one. This is going to be
Mm.
the big slammer, the big kahoo, big kahoo.
Banana Slammer. Banana Slammer. Um. Well, see, this is a real humdinger. My one, right? I was thinking, right? Ace Attorney. Ace Attorney is a series that we all love. You know, we've all played probably at least one of them, and probably only played for like 20 minutes and then put it down and never picked it up again.
Yeah,
How about, right, Ace Attorney? It's back in the public knowledge, obviously. They did the remastered collection. There's a new one called The Great Ace Attorney, where it's like set in the past and stuff. Ace Attorney is on the up. So surely there would be a good amount of pull for the Ace Attorney to work with other franchises, right? You know,
I don't like that.
It's
To be honest.
Capcom. It's Capcom. So Capcom have good ties, you know. You could say maybe Ace Attorney in Resident Evil, right? You know, Leon's getting sued by the Spanish government for invading their islands without a proper permit, so he has to use the US government as backup because he's rescuing the president's daughter, right? That could work. But that's not my
So you just
idea.
want Oh, okay.
My idea is, get this. Phoenix Wright is teleported to another dimension. This other dimension, it's just like it's the real world, right? It's just like the real world. But there's a slight difference, right? He wanders into a random agency, a detective agency, right? Thinking maybe these guys will know how I could, I don't know, get home, you know? I'm an attorney. They're detectives, you know? We both know the law, you know? And in this detective agency, who does he find? Ace Ventura. It's Ace Attorney versus Ace Ventura.
I need a minute. I've got I've got tears in my eyes. That was so fucking out of left field.
Mm.
I was not expecting that at all. I've genuinely got tears. Hang on. Oh,
Yeah.
you can't do that.
Well, I mean, you know, it's the kind of reaction I would expect if I was up on stage at the Microsoft presentation with
Just
Phil Spencer.
erupted in laughter.
Me and Phil Spencer up on stage, just like, listen, guys,
You just
this
got
isn't
a
a joke.
serious face.
Yeah, no, just like, guys, this isn't a joke. Like, this is real. And they're like,
Also, Ace Ventura's coming to Smash.
Ace Ventura gets in Smash before Phoenix Wright. Oh, I'll tell you what they will do it. Oh, I know what they're gonna do it. Bloody flipping E3. They'll reveal the new Smash character.
Probably both of them, actually.
Oh, there's two left, right?
wouldn't
I thought
put
that,
it
honestly, I thought there was only one. Yeah,
Well,
they'll
that's
probably
because the
do
other
both.
class is 5 characters.
Yes, that'll be why. There you go. But yeah,
My,
Ace
my,
Attorney
my
meets
one's,
Ace Ventura.
my one's pretty
Draw some
obvious
dimes.
if you know anything about me. It's
Bayonetta
Persona 5
6.
for Switch. Persona 5 for Switch. And no, I'm joking. Banjo-Kazooie remake. We want it. Oh, shut up. You want it as well. Or Banjo-Kazooie 3. Just anything Banjo.
I mean, I'd take
Where is
Banjo.
it
I'd
then
take
for you?
Banjo 3. I'd take Banjo
Yeah,
3. I
a,
don't.
a remake
Do we need to?
or
We don't
just
need to
3.
remake. We don't need to remake the first one. You know, you can get the
I know,
first
but
one.
Rare are remaking everything, aren't they? They've done Battletoads and they've been Perfect Dark and well, I don't think Perfect Dark.
They're remaking Perfect Dark.
I don't think it's a remake,
Oh,
or maybe it is.
oh, you got my hopes up then. I actually like Perfect Dark.
Hang on, let's look it up.
When they remake
It's
DK64,
just called
then I'll be
Perfect Dark,
interested.
so maybe it is.
If they remake DK64, then I'll be interested.
Right, so we got our list. So, we'll have you pick 2 out of my list first.
Okay.
So the full list again: Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4, a new Mario Kart, FF7 remake, Donkey Kong Country, or Banjo-Kazooie.
I guess we'll go with Donkey Kong.
I'll
I,
put
don't know,
a Y.
I guess Mario Kart. There you go. Donkey
Okay.
Kong and
And
Mario Kart.
out of your list, I'm gonna pick Ace Ventura times Ace Attorney
Yeah.
and the Breaking Bad Telltale game.
Yeah.
So now we need to pick one out of everything that's left. And we both need to agree on it.
Well,
So
I think Clay Fighters remake / Clay Fighters 3. I think that's a good one.
I disagree. The one that the third one that I would pick up your list that I think we
Knack
both
3.
agree on is Knack 3.
Yeah.
um,
Knack 3, baby.
but I also like Leisure Suite
Leisure Suit
Larry.
Larry remake in 4K,
Leisure.
ray tracing,
Oh, I don't know. I don't think you'll pick
real-time
anything
water
off my
effects.
list that we can agree
What are
on.
the others? Banjo and
Banjo.
Kashiti. There was
So,
other things. There were
so,
other things.
so should we go Leisure Suit Larry?
Yeah, sure. Or Knack 3, whichever one you
We'll go Leisure Suit Larry.
In terms of the
So-
ones I've actually listed, the only one that would actually realistically happen is Knack 3. Or,
Probably, yeah.
Ace Attorney versus Ace Ventura. That could happen.
It could
Who
happen.
knows?
So here is our perfect E3. This will make Papagenos and block content fucking jizz their pants.
Cream, yeah.
This will
Start
all the Smash
screaming without
YouTubers
the
will
S.
be going mad. Well, actually, there's no Geno in this list, so none of the Smash YouTubers like it. But so
Yeah, that's true.
a new Mario Kart. That's our first announcement. Woo! And then we have a Breaking Bad Telltale game. That's sort of a mid announcement. People are hyped. Getting back into
Oh,
it.
mate, people would be fucking buzzing for Breaking Bad.
Then-
Everyone loves Breaking Bad.
Then halfway through, we'll have Leisure Suit Larry. People go mad and like, yeah.
Leisure Suit
then
Larry,
towards the
let's
end-
go.
Towards the end, we got a new Donkey Kong Country game. Huge. It's been years since we got a new one.
And then at the end of the
7
Nintendo
years.
presentation, they go, "We've got one last
One
announcement."
more announcement, and then you just hear Jim Carrey and Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, and then everyone fucking cries.
Powell fucking jizzes their pants, rips off
Yeah.
the shirt, fucking does a Hulk Hogan.
No, they do the Etika when he sees the fucking Smash logo and the Inkling.
Fucking
Oh
breaking
my!
it down.
Oh my god!
Where's my lotion? Oh, what
Oh.
a quote.
There's a nut button.
Anyway, that's our perfect E3. Let us know some of the games in the comments that you guys want. Because,
comment down below, guys, if you like Fortnite.
we'll review this list. I'm saving it now, actually. We'll save the list and we'll see if any of them come true.
Yeah, yeah.
E3 list. There we go.
Right, there you go. So we'll move on
It's in
to
the book.
our next topic.
I don't have to move because I've done them on the same notepad. It's the
Oh wow,
true or false.
Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. So Legend of Zelda. It has some weird games. It has some weird
It does.
some weird names.
Weird games.
So I'm
weird
gonna
names.
put Jack to the test, and we're gonna see how he does. So the first one is Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds.
That does exist. It's on the 3DS.
Yeah.
I played that.
Can I just say,
Oh.
there's no there's not gonna be any trickery here. Like I'm not gonna say Majora's Mask. You'll be like, oh yeah, that's true. And I'll be like, no, it's Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
The
There's
Legend
gonna
of
be no
Zelda Majora's
trickery.
Mask. Yeah, you just give me like the subtitles. And
I'm just
stuff.
saying because I just can't be able to say Legend of Zelda. Original.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Okay.
next is Dark World.
No.
Yeah, that's correct. That is false. Link's crossbow training.
That is real. That was a Wii launch title, I believe.
I think I still have it somewhere. I don't know if I got rid of it or I still
imagine
have it.
actually having that game.
I know. That's
Good lord.
next
Give me the
is
Wii Zapper.
Tingle Rosie Rupee Land.
That is real. It's a Japanese
that is
exclusive. Yeah.
It's funny
It
because I
is
was
real.
looking here. I was sort of rushing this list before we got it done, and I put it said true next to it. I put Tor, Ture. That just made me laugh.
Oh, I was gonna say like Tor browser.
No clue what I was thinking, but next is Merkel's Mystery.
Angela Merkel. That is, I want to say false.
That is false. I just thought weird name in it.
And Angela Merkel, German
Make it
Chancellor.
happen, Nintendo. Merkel's
Yeah,
this.
put Angela Merkel in a Nintendo game. Do it, I dare you.
Don't know who Angela was.
She's the I want to be careful about how I use my. I believe she's the Prime Minister of Germany, but she might also be like the Chancellor of
Oh,
Germany. Whatever the term is. She's in charge of Germany, pretty much. That's what I mean.
Next is Link's Quest.
Link's. Ooh, oh baby. Link's Quest. I think that is. I want to say false. I'm thinking Zelda 2, but it's not called Link's Quest, is it? Or is it?
No, it's not called Link's Quest.
No, so it's false then.
Yeah, false.
See?
Next is Zelda Puzzle Swap.
That sounds like something that would come out on the fucking 3DS eShop. Oh, Jesus. Throw me a curveball here, because that very easily could be real. I'm gonna say. Oh, I'm gonna say no.
That is correct. It's false. I want to leave it as false there. It just sounds like one of those shitty, like, as you said, one of those shitty games. It's like you have to match the puzzle.
Yeah. Honestly, it's
Like,
just
oh,
fucking
Princess Zelda's magical puzzle swap. Something like
genuinely like 3DS eShop kind of quality, that is.
that. Next is Spirit Tracks.
That's real.
Yeah, that's actually a good game. I was just laughing before because I realised I made another mistake. I put Spirit Trakes. I put an E in it, and I forgot the C. But that's looking well. That's fair. So, but yeah, so another 100%. One day we'll catch you out.
Eventually. But not today.
Eventually. I'll do something you know nothing about. Like, I don't know.
My Little Pony Truffle.
I could actually, but no. I'll talk to my little sister. So who is this? But yeah. So well done. You got 100%.
Easy, mate. Easy claps. Clutch up in the gulag.
But yeah. So our final topic for today. It's kind of funny because Jack didn't do a topic where he talked about someone in particular, and I did. So it's a
Oh,
bit
wait.
of a swap.
I thought you were going to be talking about, like, the show.
Well, that's part of it. But
Oh, right, okay. I was going to say, because
so
I haven't actually seen the show, so it's a good thing this is just on the character.
no, it's bad. But
Okay, fair enough.
when I say it's bad, you probably all thought of it. It came out the other week, a few days ago.
Yeah.
We're talking about MODOK today. He's one of my favorite
MODOK.
characters.
MODOK.
In Marvel, and I really
MODOK.
like the comics. You know, Patton Oswalt
MODOK.
just wrote one, and obviously he wrote the show, which was bad. So
MODOK.
you know, kind of lost a bit of respect.
MODOK.
For just hearing MODOK now. But yeah, so I sort of fell in love with MODOK when I was a kid because
Because you can relate to
obviously,
him.
ha ha ha. I do not have a big head. I am very intelligent though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I fell in love with him because he was always on the kids shows, you know, that I would want
Oh,
when I
what's
was a kid.
the superhero squad? Yeah.
Oh, I love the Superhero Squad. What a show. We've obviously all talked about Reptile in the past.
We have,
Actually,
haven't
I have ordered a Reptile comic, and I think
we?
it's arriving next week. My sister interrupted me earlier. Luckily, I was on mute, and she fucking came in and brought some carrots and some comics for me. So
Carrots
she-
and comics.
she-
That's the life, that is.
But yeah, I got my order here, so maybe we'll do a review on one of them.
Wow.
But,
What's the
But no,
what's
so-
Comixology? Is that the
It's like the mobile reader app, isn't it? Comixology.
Yeah, I think that's one of them.
Oh.
I use the Marvel one because I just don't read DC.
Wow,
Too scary for
Joe.
me.
Wow. Too scary. To be fair,
Well, that's actually an interesting topic actually for the podcast. Can you really compare Marvel and DC anymore? I don't
I mean,
think you
yeah.
can,
Mm. Well,
because
we'll
obviously they're both
maybe we'll talk
superheroes.
about that.
But
Maybe we'll talk about that in another episode.
because I was talking to my friend at college, he was just like, "Oh, that's why I prefer DC to Marvel because the Marvel films aren't as
The
dark."
lines are blurred.
And I was just like, "Can you really compare them anymore?" I was thinking about it, but yeah. So MODOK, uh, yeah, I've always loved him since I was a kid, and obviously he's like in this show, and obviously in the comics, he's portrayed as like a Sheldon Cooper kind of character. Where it's like he's got the brains, but he doesn't have the emotion. He doesn't understand social cues. Maybe he's like a little autistic. You can sort of see that as well. Um, and I just think he's a very well written character because he's one of the few villains that has like emotions. Like, and obviously you have like characters like Ultron, who obviously maybe don't have as much emotion, even though they are just both, well, MODOK's sort of a robot, sort of a human. But yeah. So, what do you think about MODOK as a character?
Um, to be honest, I can't really remember what he's like as a character that much. I know he's some smart fella, and he's always
Yeah,
like the butt of jokes and stuff. But as a character himself, I can't really think too much about what he's like. It might be because it's been a long time since I've seen him in anything, because he sort of, when obviously with the movies coming out, he sort of fell out of relevance a while ago, and because of that, he hasn't been in like any, other than obviously his show, he hasn't been in a lot of media, and I think I've said it before, I don't really read modern comics much anymore. I think the last time I properly read comics was probably 3 or 4 years ago at this point. Like, if I'm looking at where all my comics are, and there's not many of them, but looking at like where they are, the newest one I've got that I can see right now is Forever Evil, which is like around like the start of like the New 52 kind of time. So it's a long time ago. Like that's the kind of newest comic I've got. Um, so I don't really read a lot of modern comics. So maybe he is a lot more. Maybe he's there a lot more in the comics than he is in like the television shows and stuff. But
eh, sort of, not
yeah,
really.
yeah. But I don't know. I always just felt like, well, he's just like a smart fella, isn't he? Smart fella, fart
Or
smeller.
is he a false Mela?
Yeah, he's a fart smeller, mate. I always got him mixed up with Arnim Zola as well,
People
because
do
they're,
say that a lot.
yeah, because in terms of like comic book character design, they're not too dissimilar. Arnim Zola, of course, is a giant. Well, I say giant. He's a robot with a big television screen in his stomach that displays his actual human head, or like a video of his human head. Obviously,
Yeah,
it's different in the Marvel films and stuff because Arnim Zola in the films he's the Red Skull's second-hand man, and then in the Winter Soldier he's just like a computer program. But obviously, in the comics, Arnim Zola is like he's more of like an Iron Man villain later on in the comics, really, because obviously he started as a
yeah.
Captain America villain, becomes like an Iron Man one.
I feel like they are very similar.
Yeah,
Well, actually, in the newest comics, he actually dresses up as uh fucking Zola to get into a like evil convention.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
See, there you go. Like, Marvel are leaning into it. I think it's because I don't know. MODOK's just one of those characters where he's not like a minor character, but he's not a major one
He's not a
either.
major character. Yeah. I was
He's
saying
he's
that a lot
stuck in
about
like that
like
middle ground.
I was thinking say that a lot about a few characters really, like maybe like
Squirrel
War
Girl.
Machine, Squirrel Girl, yeah.
Yeah, they're like
Um,
War Machine. I guess is like War Machine's more well known than MODOK.
yeah,
He's like
yeah,
he's a
but
bigger character
he's
in the Marvel
got
in
the
the
film
Marvel lore.
style for that.
Yeah.
And also the comics as well, obviously his death pretty much kicked off Civil War 2, so
Yes. Yeah.
which was shit. But
Civil War 2 is crap. Yeah. Civil War 1 is good. It was the
it was only made for the film.
yeah.
Give it a hype.
Civil
But
War 1 was Nitro blows up a school.
yeah,
Yeah. And
everyone
then
was like,
obviously yeah, everyone's like, well, shouldn't we be regulating this kind of stuff? And then half of them are like, no. And then the other ones are like, yeah. And then it all goes pear-shaped. And then the Dark
exactly.
Avengers
But
happens. Whee! Come on, the Dark Avengers.
woo!
Come on, Moonstone. Yeah. Great replacement for Miss Marvel. I didn't even realise they were a replacement, to be honest. Because Miss Marvel and Moonstone have pretty much the same powers. It was the one they got someone to replace Hawkeye who was like literally identical. So he wore like darker shade of sunglasses. I can't even, was it? It's not Arsenal. Arsenal's a DC character.
Yeah, not a clue to be honest.
Yeah, just
I've
someone
had
with a bow to be. Genuinely, it could just be any Archer. Like,
yeah,
honestly, the Dark Avengers were great. He was a Sentry. Sentry was there as well. He
actually
replaced
was there.
Sentry. I guess Sentry replaced Thor. Thinking about it,
A little bit. Sentry's a bit like Thor and a bit
well,
like
I was gonna say Sentry's pretty much like Marvel
Captain
Superman.
Marvel. Yeah, he's
So
got a
like,
bit of everyone's abilities.
yeah, he doesn't really replace anyone. But in terms of like, who is the most like Sentry? I guess you would say Thor in the regular Avengers.
Yeah,
Who else? I think US Agent was in the Dark Avengers as well. It's great, Dark Avengers is like the only thing from I guess modern Marvel that I know a lot about because I actually liked the Dark Avengers books. They were decent. That and I know Fear Itself as well. Fear Itself was crap, but had some cool designs. Anyway, back on topic because MODOK is not involved in either of those. Yeah, MODOK is not involved in either of those at all. Get
feel like
MODOK and Fear Itself. He kills the God Butcher. MODOK gets like a giant. What's the It's like Asgardian like steel or Asgardian mithril or something. Because I remember Spider-Man gets a suit made out of it.
yeah.
They just make MODOK out of that, and he just like starts shooting fucking magic beams that kill the God Butcher. That'd be great.
Anyway,
But yeah,
so
talking about MODOK. Yeah, as a character, I can't really comment a huge amount on him because I don't know a huge amount on the character. But in terms of like modern Marvel, it's nice to see they're embracing some of their more obscure kind of characters. The ones that get left behind by the movies, which is
yeah,
nice.
there's a lot of representation. I think this is because some of the obscure characters started to come into movies now.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah, like Howard the Duck is technically in the movies.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
there's a
mean,
couple like that. We're not going to get
I think
characters like Squirrel Girl and MODOK getting like solo films, but I'm sure we'll probably see them at some point. Like
MODOK
Squirrel
will be a
Girl.
villain pretty soon, I
Yeah,
reckon.
I think MODOK will. He might be like. He won't be a major villain. I think MODOK will be one of them kind of villains that they put at the start of the film, Like, they bust like a kind of minor villain at the start, and then like the major villain's introduced later, something like that.
I would like to see him as the main villain of like an Avengers film.
It's
Obviously
never
not
it's
him, but like
never gonna
AIM,
happen.
like
AIM
AIM as
AIM
like a
as
whole.
like a
Obviously
group.
he's the head of AIM.
I guess AIM as a
Yeah,
group could work, but MODOK on his own is never gonna work as an Avengers villain.
no.
Like,
Unless he gets his hands on like something that makes him like really
yeah,
powerful.
he just gets like time travel, gets the
Or
cosmic
it's like
cube
a
or something. I don't
weaker
know.
Avengers team.
He could work as a new Avengers villain.
Yeah,
There you go.
like
So when they bring the new Avengers
just
in, because that's
just
what
starting out.
they're getting ready for, isn't it? They're getting ready to bring in the new Avengers.
Yeah,
I guess what you do is you use someone like MODOK to be like a good establishing villain for them to beat. Because MODOK, like, he is the butt of jokes, but in the comics he's also like pretty powerful. Like he's really smart. He can shoot lasers. Um, um, he can do other things. He can fly. There you go.
yeah.
That's
I
about
feel
it.
like with like what people are expecting, like the next Avengers film will just be them fighting fucking Galactus.
That's
But
not gonna happen.
I
Well,
don't think they should do a huge threat because obviously
no,
it
they
took
need
10
to. I
years
think
to
yeah,
plan out.
they need to build up to another big
Now.
threat like Galactus. I think before Galactus comes in, you're gonna need the Fantastic Four because Galactus is like tied directly to the Fantastic Four in terms of
Yeah, I mean
comic
we've
lore.
only got until what 2023 currently in our current movie slate,
Yes,
and
and
obviously we know about Blade
Fantastic
as well.
Four has been confirmed that it's going to happen, hasn't it? Or
That
am I wrong?
that's just at the end. We've not heard about Blade, so that's probably coming out after Fantastic Four. That would probably be the first film of Phase
I think
Four.
no. Well,
Uh,
I think they did give us. They gave us like a general time gap for Blade. Blade is like 2020, late 2022, early 2023. So I think Blade will happen before Fantastic Four, but
what we
there'll probably be some Disney Plus series in between that might introduce
yeah, because
elements of the Fantastic Four.
we've only seen the movies, haven't we? We've only
Yeah,
got release dates for them,
yeah. So we've got release dates for the movies. We haven't really got like a lot for Disney Plus,
except for
other than like
Fantastic
Loki.
Four, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, obviously we're waiting for Loki. When is Loki coming out? It's June, isn't it?
It's in like a week or two.
Oh,
Wait,
oh
no.
wow! I
Well,
was
it's
going to
not
say
this
it's
week. It's not
quite
next
close.
week. It's the week after.
Okay, so yeah, so June then, because it
That's
is
the weirdest way to explain it.
as we are
Yeah,
recording, it is May, still,
yeah.
and it will be May when it
Oh,
goes
but
out.
when it comes out, yeah.
Yeah, it will still be May when this episode comes.
It'll be June next week because it's my
It will.
birthday, everyone.
Yes.
Oh my god! Next week's episode will be out on my birthday.
So it will. There you go.
Oh my god! Let's go. Let's go.
Let's
But
go.
yeah, so to wrap this up, um, well, to be fair, in in terms of Marvel, we don't actually know because they are obviously announcing more films
Yeah.
as
Well,
the TV shows go on.
obviously, yeah, yeah.
Because they
Have
just announced
they?
Captain America 4
What is the
with
next TV show after Loki? Is it
it's
Miss
either
Marvel?
Hawkeye. Well, it's What If, but it's either
Yeah, yeah,
Ms.
you know what I
Marvel
mean.
or
After What
Hawkeye.
If? Okay. I'm
So
assuming it
no,
will
because I
probably
think
be
Hawkeye's
Hawkeye.
out in December.
I was gonna.
I don't know.
Oh, it'll probably be Miss Marvel then. Well, Captain Marvel 2 is next year, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
this year we've got Doctor Strange. Am I right?
it's not
Or
Doctor
is it
Strange
next
this
year
year.
now?
It's next year, I think.
It was supposed to be this year, but I think it got moved. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
it's March, May.
oh yeah, yeah. Yep,
No,
moved to
it's not
next year.
May.
It is 25th of March next year.
Yeah, March.
That sucks.
That's gonna be good. That is.
Yeah, it will be good. I'm a little bit miffed that it has been moved from because it was supposed to be like a September kind of release time this year, but
Yeah,
obviously because
we got
COVID happened and
Shang-Chi.
they had to move everything else. I mean, they could have just They could have just put Black Widow on Disney Plus, and I don't think anyone would have cared. I
Black
don't.
Widow's been done. It's been done for years. Well,
Black
for
Widow,
over a
genuinely,
year.
Black Widow has been sitting finished for Disney since, when was it supposed to come out? May last year. It's literally been done for a year.
It's been done. We just want to see it. Just see.
Just, it is coming out on Disney Plus as well. That's what baffles me about this. It's coming out on Disney Plus and in cinemas. So why didn't you just put it out on Disney Plus last year before you released all these shows? Because they'd already put Mulan out on Disney Plus with like the pay to watch thing.
Yeah,
And
and they did it with
people,
Raya, and now
yeah,
they're doing it with Cruella, and
exactly. So why didn't you just do it with Black Widow then, and then you don't have to delay all of your fucking movies another 6 months? Because they're all probably already finished. I guarantee you Shang-Chi's about 3 weeks away from being finished, but we're not going to get to see it until, what, September?
yeah.
Because Shang-Chi they finished filming all of that before COVID. Like,
I think they did, yeah.
from memory, I remember reading something not long ago saying that they wrapped shooting in like February 2020.
I mean, we saw set pics, didn't we? And
Yeah, we saw set pics ages ago. Like, there were set pics for Doctor Strange released in fucking 2020.
yeah.
So why is that now going to take? Well, I say why is it going to take? I know why it's going to take. It's because Disney want money. Because if they release it at the end,
probably the post production on Doctor Strange is going to be.
oh
huge,
yeah,
because-
yeah, okay, fair enough. But the thing is, they already had a scheduled release date, and they've had to postpone it another 6 months. But they've been working on, from what I've heard, from like insiders on. It sounds really unreliable, but apparently, people work for these companies, right? And they use social medias. I've heard from people that allegedly work from these companies that they had to work on these things through lockdown. From like, they would some of them have like home editing, I guess, kits, so they can do it all at home, and they've been doing it all at home. Obviously, it's not going to go as quick as if they're in a professional editing booth. So it's a lot harder to do like ADR and all this fucking CGI stuff. You can't really do that at home per se. But work on the film has been going through pretty much the entirety of the first, second, and third lockdowns. So that doesn't equate to me to having to delay the film another 6 months when, especially in the, obviously they're making it in the US. The US's lockdown laws were a lot less stringent than ours. So there's every chance they could have been going to work and still making these movies.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like we've seen with games, like they've not really had to.
Yeah.
been
Well,
delayed
yeah.
or-
Like Sony through the first lockdown was still releasing games. Like Last of Us 2 came out through lockdown. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we know about the working conditions of The Last of Us 2 now, after the fact, and how they were, to put it mildly, fucking shit. But, that still came out during lockdown. So it's just like... It grinds my gears, to quote Peter Griffin. It grinds my gears. Grinds my
No,
Richard
really,
gears.
I can't do Peter Griffin voice.
Yeah, freaking sweet Lois. Yeah.
I've
Anyway.
sort of lost it. I've got a bit of a cold, but we got away from Modok. But yeah,
but we just talk
I
about like
personally
Marvel
like
in
Modok.
general. Yeah, I don't have
I
an opinion on him as a character.
I think that's all we can really say. We'll obviously
Yeah.
get back to this when the show's finished in 10
Yeah.
weeks for the UK.
10. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, 10 episodes. America, I've got it all
America.
straight away.
I just turn a
we-
VPN on then.
We get it one a week, so
Oh,
kind of shitty. But
gotta wait 10
But
weeks for
anyway.
that shit. Jesus.
well, it's 9 now. So.
Oh.
But yeah,
9 weeks
so
too many.
we'll see how the show goes. I reckon it will get better.
I hope so. I still haven't watched it, and I just know it's gonna be crap.
It's
But anyway.
bad. It's
Yeah.
not.
Anyway. I think we'll call it time there for this week's episode. Nearly at 2 hours.
Yeah.
Which is, no problems with this episode as well. Look at that. We've managed to
Oh
go
yeah.
an
No
episode
one lagged out.
without a problem. Unreal.
Well, let's end it quickly before something
Yes,
does
but
happen. So I can see it
Discord
happening.
is going to go down as soon as we say that. So anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a comment down below about what you want to see at E3, or maybe what you want to see from Marvel in the coming years. Maybe they'll announce Daredevil and Elektra remakes.
Did we have something else
But
on
there'll be
the-
remakes. There'll be
the-
remakes of the 2003 and 2005 films. They're not going to be like the Netflix Daredevil. They're going to be Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner now as Daredevil and Elektra. So fucking 40-year-old Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner reprising their roles. Anyway.
Right, bye.
Yeah. Leaving that thought in your mind.
Bye.
See you guys next week for Joe's special birthday extravaganza episode. Have a nice. Goodbye.
See you later.